got scolded.
Call the meeting in Marshall County Fiscal Court to order. This is November 3rd, 2015. Welcome, everyone, to our meeting. Glad to see you here. We have some guests this morning. I would like to see Bobby Gifford, please.
Draw request this is for materials that the special project crew used on the pumping station for the oak level tank. All the bills were to coal lumber supply in a total of $1,953.66.
All right, gentlemen, you've heard the request. Do I hear a motion to approve the drawdown?
Motion to approve, Judge.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Bobby, there's been a violation reported on District 1 Sanitation. Can you explain that to us and give us an update on it?
Yeah, they sent me a copy of the notice of violation from Division of Water. It's to do with safety of the plant. The plant is old, and we have been working for a little over 2 years to rehab the entire system. Right now, we're in the process of rehabbing all the manholes and lift stations. Those monies were supplied by a $300,000 grant from Delta Regional Authority. I have an application in for rural development for the rehab of the plant itself. That will be about a $1.1 million project. I think we're going to be able to have 60-40 money there. We renegotiated the contract with the state park for their sewer service, and that monies is there to extinguish that debt service, what the monies that they will have to borrow. So yes, they do have a violation, but it is in the works to be corrected. It just won't be overnight.
Okay, I appreciate that, and it sounds good, and they did bring it to my attention and let us know what was going on, and we appreciate them for doing that.
Still don't have a final word from Sanitation District Number 2 funding, but I expect that we will hear from that any day.
Appreciate that. Please let us know as soon as you do hear something. Glad to hear about that. Gentlemen, do you have any questions for Bobby? All right, thank you, Bobby. Okay, next, Wendy Baxter.
Just a real quick update on our work ready. On November the 19th, the Workforce Innovations Board meeting will be held at 12:30 at the Bluegrass Community College there in Lexington. We have been asked by that board to see if any of our elected officials or community members would like to attend. I know some of you will probably already be up in that area for another meeting. Just let me know if you plan on making it, and that way I can let her know how many people are going to come to the meeting. Also, I've spoke with Russell this morning about removing the work ready in progress signs. So those will be coming down, and we have to return those to the state, and then we'll get our work ready signs to be put up on the 19th. So if anybody has any questions, just let me know. Swing by the office or give me a call.
Thank you. We're very proud to be work ready and not work ready in progress anymore.
Right, it was a
Appreciate
good community effort.
all the hard work of you and the Economic Development Office and all those people that worked with you out in the other education, other fields. Thank you. All right, there's no correspondence at this time. So we'll go to old business, and at this time, gentlemen, if you've looked at the minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve those.
Make a motion to approve the minutes, Judge.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, at this time, I would ask Jason for the second reading of ordinance 2015-05, the ABC ordinance amendment.
All right, this is the second reading of our amended ordinance, ABC ordinance. There's been no changes. Thank the Lord since the last time we had our first reading of the amendment. So amended ordinance number 2015-04, section 10.018, expiration of license, proration of fees. County licenses shall begin on February 1st of any year and shall expire on January 31st of the following year. There's a prorated basis for anything issued for partial years, and for these first round of licenses, we're going to do fees of a quarter of a year. 10.021 is the regulatory license fee, and that's been amended to reflect the fact that payment in full is due by January 31st of each calendar year. 10.024 advertisement. That section's been amended to include the right address of the state ABC board at 1003 Twilight Trail, Frankfort, Kentucky 40601. The form of application 10.026 is been amended to include it's a plus the $50 application fee in addition to the cost of the license itself. And also, there's been a provision in there struck about the statement of guidelines and priorities for issuance of licenses. 10.027 has been amended to say that it basically from shall to may, which gives the court discretion on situations where there may be an applicant who may be delinquent in taxes. It doesn't require that they be denied. It gives the court discretion to say whether or not that person would be denied. Not the court, but the ABC administrator. 10.033 has been amended to reflect the fact that Marshall County Fiscal Court may recommend a final order to the county ABC administrator, at which time the licensee may seek further appeal as provided by law. That was recommended to be put in there by the lead counsel for ABC, that any final action that's taken from us needs to be by the county ABC administrator and not the court. 10.039 was amended to strike the provision which read, any aggrieved party may appeal the decision of the county ABC administrator to the Marshall County Fiscal Court. That provision was struck. And then new section, subsection S was added. Nothing in this section of this ordinance shall be intended to reduce or usurp the appropriate state agency's authority to make final determinations on the issuance of quota license, and that's just to reflect the fact that the state has the final say-so on issuance of quota licenses. 10.041 was amended to reflect the fact that there may be some situations of a quota package store where consumption on the premises is allowed. That would be situations like for wine tastings or bourbon tastings or something like that. 10.046 was amended to take away the license aspect of patio and outdoor sales and just make that a simple regulation as opposed to a separate license. And then this is not in here, but we took that out about the fire code and building code. So we struck that out. But that's not in this one.
Have you got the one down there that has where they struck that out?
Is that the last, that was the last one I had that you said?
We found it, though. After the last meeting, we found it. Just need to make sure that that's the one that you sign. It has the striking of the...
All right, gentlemen, you've heard the second reading. Are there any questions?
Is the clarification on the what you just put in there at the end as far as the fire code goes? It's not our problem, it's the state's problem, it's our responsibility, not problem. Right. I just want to make sure I understand that.
All right, if everything is clear now, I would entertain a motion that we approve the second reading of this amended ordinance.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we have another second reading. I think, Brenda, that Emily has kind of given you what needs to be taken care of on that. Brenda is sitting in for Emily today. Emily is helping with the elections. Brenda's going to give us her reports.
This is a budget amendment, and it is the second reading, and I believe she read in detail the first reading. So I'll just be reading the summary because it's already been, there's no changes, and it's been approved by the Department of Local Government. Ordinance 2015-06, an ordinance relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof, whereas the County of Marshall has received additional funds. Now it be ordained by the Fiscal Court of Marshall County that Section 1, the annual budget for fiscal year 2015-2016 is amended to increase revenue accounts. The total increased revenue is $1,653,439.65. Increased expenditure accounts total the same amount, $1,653,439.65. Section 2, the amounts added to the revenue and expenditure accounts in Section 1 are for governmental purposes. Approved by the Marshall County Fiscal Court the 20th day of October 2015, Cheryl Miller, County Judge Executive. Approved as to form and classification this the 21st day of October 2015, Robert O. Brown, State Local Finance Officer. This amendment to the budget ordinance was adopted by the Marshall County Fiscal Court, Kentucky, on this, the 3rd day of November 2015. Cheryl Miller, County Judge Executive.
All right, gentlemen, do you have any questions? If not, at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the second reading of this ordinance.
So move, Judge.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Brenda also has some information for us. Let me sign this. She's going to give you some information on the telephone audit.
The telephone audit results, they credited the October billings from AT&T, and basically there were three numbers that we got some credits from, and then there were two lines. It's kind of hard to explain. They were kind of non-existent. They weren't really telephones, but they were lines that there were no phones connected to them and no one was using them. So altogether, the credits that we received in October for all of 5 of these situations was $1,331.20.
And the way she talked to me, we're still not up to the big money yet.
I was kind of disappointed to hear that figure. I heard from the auditors that they were turning somersaults for their 50%.
But I think what Emily said, they just haven't got there yet to that part. We've got
This is just the very first credits that we've
good.
gotten.
Is this our share, or we have to split that with him?
No, we will be, she didn't have that broke down, did she?
She didn't
No,
say
we
anything
will,
about
we
that.
will be having to reimburse them for half of that. And this goes on for, what did they say? I'm not sure. 8 months? I can't remember.
665.
I can't
Be their
remember,
half.
but anyway, we're gonna be, taking care of some of those for a limited time, and then we're free and clear, and everything we save is ours. Okay, and that was for your information. Kind of. The next thing on the agenda. Now is Way Avenue. We discussed that, quite a while ago. Actually, Scott Phillips came in here. And they have submitted a petition to have the county take this road in, and I am told that we need to set a public hearing. It's in the old business, I'm sorry. I added it because it was in new, but it's actually old business.
Okay.
So that would be, at this time, we need to discuss having a public hearing, advertising for that, and then appointing some road viewers to take care of that.
So we have an application from them.
We have what looks like a petition that's meeting all the requirements at this time
As an existing road.
as an existing road. So-
Legal counsel has reviewed those qualifications and requirements to be a legal road, and everything's to your satisfaction.
Yes, we looked at it, well, we talked about it last meeting, and then
Right.
before court, I looked at it, Judge looked at it, Anita looked at it, Russell looked at it, and it appears that they have met the requirements of an existing road, so.
So at this time, what we need to do is set a public hearing, which I'm not sure who suggested a date on that. It does have to be advertised, right? So we have to,
We generally do them right after the court meeting, the next court meeting. If there's enough time to advertise.
I think that would be the 17th, November 17th.
Everybody's agreeable. I mean, that's generally what we try to do. It's the easiest time to come together and get it done.
Now, do the road viewers go out and look at that before the hearing? Okay.
Have a report for it.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is entertain a motion to set that date for November 17th, and we will have to advertise that time, of course.
Usually we set it for 11 o'clock, and sometimes it gets pushed, but generally that's what we do on that day.
We set it for 11, if we're not done, then we can recess, go into the hearing, and then come back.
All right, and road viewers, I think Bobby, Josh, and who else? Russell. Well, can I count on y'all to go look at that? I know you've looked at it a few times.
Casey
Casey?
has been doing it.
Okay.
Time to too.
Okay. Casey and Russell and Josh, is that?
Casey, Russell, and Josh?
Bobby,
then?
4 of us.
Four, okay.
Okay. All right.
All right, Casey,
Bobby, he needs something else to do.
Josh. Let's don't wear him out. All right, so I would entertain a motion, please, to set that date for November 17th, time being following the regular meeting, or if it runs late, to recess and go into after lunch, and then to also have these 4 people as named for road viewers.
So moved.
There is a motion. Is there a second? Second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that takes care of all the old business. Now, new business. I have a resolution, gentlemen. This is for an agreement sent down from the Transportation Cabinet for, I'll read it to you. Resolution adopting and approving the execution of a memorandum of agreement between the Marshall County Fiscal Court and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Highways, in the amount of $150,000 for resurfacing various county roads, and be it resolved by the fiscal court that the fiscal court does hereby ratify and adopt all statements, representations, warranties, covenants, and agreements contained in said agreement, and does hereby accept the funds provided in said agreement, and by such acceptance agrees to all the terms and conditions therein stated, and the judge executive of the county is hereby authorized and directed to sign said agreement as set forth on behalf of the fiscal court of Marshall County, and the fiscal court clerk of Marshall County is hereby authorized and directed to certify hereto. I would entertain a motion, gentlemen, to approve this resolution, and this is for, I'll get you a copy of the roads that we sent, that we requested resurfacing money for, and will be used as $150,000. I can read them out to you now, or I can just give it to you later, but we've got.
The list of roads that were to be done was with the anticipation that we were going to receive $300,000.
No, it
No.
was trimmed down. I asked for 300,000,
Oh, I
but
know that and got half of it, but I thought the list that we saw was the $300,000 spent. It's just the 150.
No, this is just 150.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'd
one
like,
where there were 8 roads.
I'd like
8
a
different roads.
copy of that. I don't think
Okay,
that's one.
I've got it right here.
Okay, thanks.
So at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve this resolution, and we'll send it back.
Motion to approve the resolution, Judge.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We will be sending this back today, so they can get in a hurry to send us back the agreement, but I think the way they talked, or Russell, it won't be done right away, because we're past the point of getting any paving. It will be done after the first of the year, when we get back into paving weather. All right, the next thing on the agenda is, for your information, we have I left in your box, the county clerk audit for year ending 12/31/14. So you have that you can take and look over. We have no action we need to take on that. I'm going to read you.
Judge, on, back to the audit, I noticed in the audit report, there was a deficiency that the state auditor found, and there was no reply from the county concerning the deficiency.
It's the one we get every
The
time.
segregation of duty.
duties.
Is that the fact that
We don't
more
have
than one
enough
people
staff.
don't,
We don't have enough staff.
We've gotta
to
wear more
segregate
hats
all
than
the
one.
duties. That's
Okay.
correct.
I'm not familiar with that, but I'd say we probably have to
That's the
ask our
same
county
one.
clerk.
That's the same one we get, and we get
It's
it
a
on a lot, and we get it on some of
sheriff, or we
Kevin's,
get it
I
every
think. We
time.
get it on almost all of our audits.
They put it in there, but they also put in there that we have compensating controls in place to counteract that, and I don't even know why they put it in, because
They do, and Tim is, I'm sure the answer's always been, we don't have, with our staff has multiple duties, and I think, I hope
but like I
you've
said,
seen
they
those.
put that caveat in there.
They just have, it's,
And whether we need him to make a response or not, we've responded many times with the same.
I think Emily
Same
has
answer.
responded on our audits to something like that, but it's generally the same thing
Yes.
every time, so.
okay?
All right, the next thing I have is, I have a resignation from Sanitation District 1. I'm going to read you this. October 16, 2015, Judge Miller, I, Roy Carter, am resigning my position as chairman of the board for Marshall County Sanitation District Number 1, effective immediately. Leslie Landers would be filling my position until further notified. Thank you, Roy Carter. Melanie's looked up the appointments, and at this time, we will only have two, since he has resigned immediately as of the 16th. So I would entertain a motion to appoint Leslie Landers to this board seat. He has been on that board before. According to Bobby, he's very familiar with what goes on with that district, and that,
Yeah, and he stepped back, and because I think health reasons, and I guess he's doing well enough, he's willing to accept.
evidently, he's ready to step in until.
He still works up there all the time, so, yes, I'd make a motion to approve him as on the board.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Have another letter with some appointments. Judge Miller, the Marshall County Extension Council has nominated the following individuals to serve on the Marshall County Extension District Board. They are Janice Bragg, Dennis Joseph, George Milam, and John Miller. Since there are only two members' terms expiring as of December 31st, 2015, please appoint only two of these individuals to the Extension District Board. Jan Bragg and Dennis Joseph currently serve on the district board. In accordance with County Extension Council bylaws, change on 4/18/13, Jan and Dennis are eligible for one more three-year term before they will have to sit out for at least 1 year. This change was made to encourage others to step up into extension leadership roles. If you have any questions, please contact me, and if at all possible, we ask the appointments be made by December 1st. So at this time, sounds pretty clear to me that Jan Bragg and Dennis Joseph have been serving and still have 3 years. I would recommend that we keep them on there until for the next 3 years until the next appointment comes open. They will have to step by at that time.
So moved, Judge.
All right, is there a
Second.
second? There is a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So that's Janice Bragg and Dennis Joseph. Intrafund transfer.
There was a interfund transfer from the Occupational Tax Administration account to the general fund of $500,000.
All right, gentlemen, you've heard the information on the transfer. I'd entertain a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Motion to approve,
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this time, gentlemen, we need to go into executive
Judge,
session. I'm sorry.
Didn't mean to interrupt, but before we go into executive session, two issues I think we might ought to take up before we do that. Number one is just kind of an informational for you guys. Sheriff knows about this, but I don't know when the opinion came down, but basically what had happened in Campbell County,
October the 29th is when it was rendered. Yep.
they tacked on a $45, I think it was $45, is that right? $45 fee onto every occupied residence and business on, basically, I guess it went out on the tax bill, I'm not sure, but, and they did that to fund 911. And there was a challenge by I think it was the airport was one of the main challengers to that. And ended up going all the way to Supreme Court, and I'm actually surprised that it came down the way it did. It was a 5-2 split decision on the Supreme Court, but they upheld the validity of that.
That was Kentucky Supreme Court.
Right.
So will it go any further? Do you don't think it won't?
No, there would be no grounds to take it any further that I can think of. So I think that is a final decision, and it's obviously gives us something to think about. Between now and next court meeting, I hope to get my hands on the Campbell County ordinance to see what it says and how they went about doing it and have some more information for you. But that's obviously a new funding avenue that's opened up, because before that, I had doubts, and, obviously two of the justices didn't like it, and I'm kind of surprised that it came down the way it did, but it's been approved and it's final, so
Thank you, Jason.
something to think about. Last thing before we go into executive session is the old property at Calvert, the building there at Calvert with and my understanding is that all three entities, the fiscal court, the health district, and the hospital district, have all voted to sell that property. What I have recommended doing, in my opinion, and of course this is going to be up to you guys and the other boards, I would recommend taking sealed bids first and just see what we get. If we auction it first, obviously if it's sold at auction, then we lose out on proceeds for auctioneer commissions and things like that. If we take sealed bids first, the only thing we're out of pocket is a third of the advertising cost. So
And we can reject all those bids.
we can
is
reject
what
all
you're
those
saying.
bids.
We can advertise that where it's rejected if we're not approving of it.
Would it be, should we get an appraisal of it?
We've already got it.
Got
There is an
of it?
appraisal,
I
but we
thought we had
won't.
a number that we had thought, okay.
What I've recommended to the health board and the hospital district is that they convene and give basically us the approval to conduct the sealed bid process and then split the advertising costs with us. And then I've also recommended that they appoint either one representative from that board or maybe a committee of 3 from those boards to appear when we take sealed bids and have the authority on behalf of those boards to either approve or reject along with us. So we would basically do it. We would have representatives from those 2 entities here to speak for those boards, and then we would just see what we get.
We need to approve that or make a motion to approve that process? I'd move it, we approve that very process, and, if they agree, then we'll move forward with the sealed bids.
Second.
And there is a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Jason, what was the appraisal on that? What
We
was
don't,
Yeah,
we
I
don't really want to tell that, I don't think.
I mean, it's,
For
the-
bid
I'll-
purposes.
Okay, I'll ask that question later then.
Yeah, I can tell you because I could, but I was in the meetings with the health board, of course, while I was on the board, so, yeah, they're ready to get rid of it. And
bid on
the
it.
hospital director is also.
I just, the taxpayers spent money to have it appraised. I just assumed that they had the right to know.
well, I
I'm
mean,
really sure who did.
But I'll ask that question in
After the
private.
COB
I have
is.
no problem.
All right. Is there anything else, Jason? Sorry. I'm missing Jeff, I'm sorry. All right, at this time, I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session regarding personnel, please.
Motion to go in executive session.
And
There's
second.
a second, there's a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We will be back.
CFSB proudly brings you Kasasa. What's Kasasa? It's an easy way to earn cash, no talent necessary. It's like a participation trophy that's actually worth something. You do everyday things, we reward you in cash each month. That's free Kasasa checking. Ask for free Kasasa checking at CFSB.
They're spelled
To
differently.
some people, but some it's not.
All right, we call the meeting back to order after our executive session. At this time, gentlemen, I need to have approved the payment of the bills.
Motion to pay the bills, Judge.
Second.
All right, there is a motion and a second to pay the bills. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, there's nothing else on the agenda. I have a few words to say, but is there anything y'all have to bring up before I do that?
I was just wondering, with the holidays coming up, are our meetings going to be the same, the second or the first and the third Tuesdays for the remainder of the year? Is there any schedule? Do anything different in January?
Generally, if I remember right, you only have one meeting in December, isn't that
Typically,
correct?
we just pick one meeting, either the first one, or we move it a little bit and have one meeting in December, but that's just been a kind of a typical thing we've done. It's not anything we have to do.
So, I mean, you can wait until the next meeting, or you go ahead and discuss it and set it now. I'm sure there's probably some vacations or people going out of town for the holidays.
That was the
That's why I ask, yeah.
That would mean that the first meeting will be the first day of December.
And you're having one on November 17th.
The next one will be the 15th.
We leave for Frankfurt the 17th too, don't we, after the meeting?
17th is still good with everybody, okay? And what about December?
Well, the first one he said was scheduled on December 1st. Now, do you feel like you're going to need two meetings in December? Or do you want to do like they've done in the past and have one meeting?
We can wait till the next meeting to set it when
Have,
We're
full
still,
fiscal
so we're
court.
still good for December 1st?
yeah, you will.
There are
Yeah.
5 Tuesdays in December, so whichever.
Okay.
Generally, a lot of times it's down in that week of Christmas. The second meeting, a lot of times falls sometimes in that area.
So
and
I
that's
mean,
why
I have
we-
no problem with the
that's why
1st
we
and the
did away
15th,
with it.
yeah.
That's
So
why we did away with it. The 1st and the 15th is something that's
Okay.
be up to the rest of the court. I don't have a problem if we have two. but-
Nor do I.
And,
Okay, so there is,
and it would be best to wait anyway until your new judge comes in.
Okay.
Y'all can discuss that with him.
okay.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I just
Judge,
have,
one thing.
okay.
A certain member of the media
He looked at Rachel.
advised that we forgot to say what we discussed in executive session, so.
Oh, I'm
It-
sorry, it was a personnel issue, and there's no resolution at this time. Okay, I'm sorry.
Keep them
My
honest, keep them
bad.
honest.
Okay, is there anything else?
Oh, the floor is yours.
All right. Being said, this is my last meeting, I just wanted to say a few words to everyone before I leave. This is my final official fiscal court meeting. It is with regrets and great anticipation that I say this. Regrets being that I will miss being a part of this great group of people, but anticipation being I look forward to returning to what I would call my normal life at home and retired once again. I hope that I have somehow helped in the transition that has come about after the loss of my late husband. Mike loved the people of this county, and he loved the people that worked with him. When I accepted this appointment, I believed he would have wanted me to step in and fulfill at least 1 year of the term he was elected to in November 2014. He would have felt he owed those people that worked so hard for him in that election at least that, and him not being here, it was up to me to fulfill it for him. I also wanted to help the community and the employees prepare for the next transition when a new judge is elected. It has been an experience that I would never have believed could come to happen until it came to pass. I had days that were so rewarding by being able to help or accomplish a major task. But there were days that were difficult, stressful, and at times devastating. But through it all, I held on to the thought that he was behind me and backing me with every step. I thank all of you that supported me and helped me and encouraged me when I really needed it. I could never have done this without your support. I can never repay you, but I will certainly try to pass it on somewhere whenever I can. I thank the fiscal court members for their patience with me. I guarantee that no one really knows what it's like until you are up here trying to answer the questions and solve the problems. I want the people of this county to know that you have wonderful representatives here that care about you and your concerns. I thank all the county employees that have worked so well with me through these past 10 months. You are great, and I'm as proud of you as Mike always was. Please keep up the great work you do for your county and your community. I will be coming back for fiscal court meetings. I, like most of you, will be an observer, but now I am an informed observer, and I look forward to watching from the other side like I used to. I wish the new judge good luck. It is a monumental task they are taking on, and I will pray for their success and that they continue bringing this county forward and reap great rewards for the people of this community. I now bid you farewell, and for the final time, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion, Judge.
Is there a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That was harder than I thought it would be.